I'm Cindy Smiles, and today I was going to show you how to crochet this cute little pumpkin swirl coaster, or it can also be garland. It's a really quick make, a great stash buster, and easily customizable to whatever colors and decor are in your home or whoever you're gifting it to. Let's go ahead and get started. For materials, you will need 2 sizes of hooks. I am using a 4mm for the main portion of the pumpkin and a 3.5mm for the vines on the pumpkin, just because I wanted them a little bit smaller and tighter than the rest of the pumpkin. It's totally up to you if you want to switch sizes though. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and a couple of stitch markers. And I'm going to be using WeCrochet's Dishie cotton yarn for this. You can choose whatever colors. Today I'm going to be doing white and orange, and then my stem will be the green. Now I'm not going to be going over stitches for this. Mostly I will be just explaining the pattern. If you need to know the stitches that I'll be using, I'm sure you can find a tutorial on YouTube for them, but these are all very basic stitches. All right, I'm going to start with my main color, and for this one I'm going to choose white. To begin, we're going to make a magic ring. And in our magic ring, we are going to start with 2 single crochet, 2 half double crochet, and 2 double crochet. And that should give you a total of 6 stitches. Now at the end of each of these rounds, because we're going to be doing sections, at the end of each of these, I'd suggest pulling up your yarn and mark your last stitch. Now, we are going to pick up our next color. This is the only really tricky part, is getting our second color on. Once we've got everything on there, it's not really as challenging. Now the way I join my yarn is by pulling it up, and I pull through both loops, and that kind of secures it, and then I am going to make a single crochet into those. So there's my first single crochet. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with my color B that I did with color A. So 2 single crochet, so there's already my first single crochet, another single crochet, 2 half double crochet, and 2 double crochet. All right, and again, be sure and pull up your loop and go ahead and put a stitch marker in. And now we're going to close our ring. Be sure to only tighten the magic ring, not the color B, because we don't want it to get too tight, and it can really easily if we do that. So we're just going to slowly tighten our main color just about to there. We'll tighten it up a little bit more here in just a minute. All right, now we're going to go back to color A, which is this one. And we are going to increase in each of these stitches with a double crochet. So we will do 2 double crochet in each of these 6 stitches, which will give us a total of 12 stitches. If you've done it right, you will end at this stitch marker with 12 stitches. Okay, now we've made it to the last stitch, and I just need to put 2 double crochet in here. And again, pull up a loop, and we're gonna mark our last stitch. Now we're gonna go on to color B, and we're gonna do the exact same thing. 2 double crochet in each of these stitches, which will give us a total of 12, and you should end on this stitch marker. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and if you need to pause, go ahead and I will meet you at the next point. $11 and $12. And again, I'll put in my stitch marker. Now sometimes it's easy to get confused about which end you start with, or if you're ready for the next color. The way I always know when I finished a section is they will be directly opposite from each other. If one color is on top of the other one, that means you still have the bottom color to work the same round that the other one did, if that makes sense. Let me go ahead and tighten our ring up a little bit more now that we finished working in those stitches. All right, we're gonna go back to our main color. Now for this round, we will be doing 1 double crochet and then an increase double crochet. So 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochet stitches in the next stitch. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. Once we get to our stitch marker, you should have 18 double crochets, and you should end on a double crochet in this stitch. So 1 double crochet, and then an increase double crochet, which just means 2 in 1 stitch. 1 double crochet and 2. And I will meet you at the end. And here's our final 2 stitches, which is an increase in this last stitch, and this is what I'm talking about. You'll know you've still got the next color's round to go if these 2 are on top of each other versus across from one another. All right, now we are going to do the same thing for color B, which is 1 double crochet and then a double crochet increase in each of these white stitches. We should end with 18 stitches at our stitch marker. So 1 double crochet and a double crochet increase. And I will meet you at the end. Okay, and here is our double crochet increase. And we will mark this last stitch. Okay, so now you see they are both opposite one another. That means that we've completed that round. Now it is time for our 3rd round. And we are going to start with our main color. And this time we are going to do 2 double crochet and then a double crochet increase. So it'll be a double crochet in 1 stitch, another double crochet, and then a double crochet increase in the next stitch. When you get to your marker, you should have 24 stitches. So again, it's a double crochet, a double crochet, and then a double crochet increase. And I'll see you at the end. And here's our last increase. And that makes that 24. And I no longer need to put a stitch marker there, but still pull your loop up. Now we will do the same thing for the orange, which is a double crochet, a double crochet, and then an increase. And we will do it all the way to our stitch marker here at the bottom. So I will meet you there. Okay, now you get to decide which of these colors you want to be on the outside of the pumpkin. So if you want the orange or the white to be on the outside. If you want the orange to be on the outside, which I don't, I want it to be the white. So I'm gonna work my orange first. The white, if you want that, or your bee color, if you want that on the outside, you're gonna work it last. So the one you want on the inside of the pumpkin, you would work first. So we're gonna do this one first. And to do this, we're gonna do 1 double crochet, 2 half double crochet, and then 2 single crochet. So 1, 2, and then we're going to slip stitch in this last one. And then I usually finish off my stitches like this with a chain. And then I'm going to cut this. All right, now we are going to make what will be the square bottom here. That is this next part that we will be doing. So we will do 1 double crochet, 2 half double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet increase right here. And this will be the start of one of the corners. Then we're going to do a half double crochet and 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do another half double crochet and then another double crochet increase right here. So this will be the other corner. So do 2 double crochets in this stitch. So you see there's the bottom. Now we're going to work up the side and finish off up here. So you're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet. And now for the remainder of the stitches, we are going to do a pattern, which will be chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then single crochet in the following stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the following stitch. And we're going to do that all the way to the top. Okay, and then this last one, you're going to chain 1 after you've done that single crochet, just like you've been doing, and then we are going to slip stitch into the same stitch that the orange is in. So they will both be right there. Slip stitch, and then I chain one to kind of close the stitch, and then you can cut your yarn. So there you go. There is the first part of the pumpkin. I'm going to go ahead and sew in my ends, and then I will come back here in a minute and we will make the stem. Okay, now I've got my ends all sewn in, and we are going to start on our stem. So grab whichever color yarn you're wanting to use there. And we are going to be working into the top of where both of these stitches made a slip stitch. So right here, we're gonna work into this white, the top of the white slip stitch. And I first make a slip stitch, and then I go back in and we are going to make a single crochet. I'm going to work over my yarn just so it's one less thing I have to sew in at the end. So that is our first stitch. Now we're going to go down here right after this white part right here. This will kind of make it go together a little bit so you don't have this big bump. So that was our first stitch. Then we're going to do a second stitch, and we're going to do 5 all together. 3, 4, and 5. Then chain 1, and we're going to turn. And I'm going to bring my tail up again, and I'm going to crochet over it just a little bit more just to make sure it's nice and secure. We're going to do 5 single crochet right across. 1, 2, 3, and right here I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. 4 and 5. Chain 1, and we're going to turn again. Now we're going to do 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and the next 2 I'm going to do an invisible decrease because it just makes the pumpkin stem, just gives it a little bit more character than just straight across. So 1, I just take the front loops. If you don't know how to do an invisible decrease, you take the front loops of these 2 stitches, yarn over and pull through both, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And then we're going to do our 5th stitch right here. And then I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. And there you go. There's the pumpkin with its stem. Now if you want to do the little vine, I will show you how to do that also. It's super easy. I will sew in this end first. And if I work it down a little bit, it'll take off that, how it kind of has this little point. So I'm just going to work it down the tail down here a little bit. And it'll pull that weird little single crochet there at the top down. And then there's our little pumpkin. I did block all of my pumpkins. I did a wet block with a little bit of starch in there and let them sit overnight, and they were nice and flat the next day. Either you can steam block or do a wet block, but they probably will all have a little curl, so you might need to block yours also. Now to do the vine, I'm just going to make one for this. Most all of my pumpkins have 2 vines on them, and I just did the same thing twice and then sewed them on whichever side. I have this one over here and this one over here, and bows because I like bows. You don't have to use bows though. To do the vine, I chain 13. Okay, so here's my chain. And then to make it curl, you're gonna do 3 single crochets into each chain. So I'm gonna skip this one right here on my hook. I'm gonna skip this one and we're gonna work into this next one, and we're gonna do 3 single crochets in that one and all the way down. And because we're packing each stitch with more stitches, that's what causes the curl. And then once you've done your last stitch, once again, just chain 1 and then fasten off. And you can just sew that onto wherever you want it to be on your pumpkin. I usually try to get it close to that little bump where all the slip stitches were when we fastened off the other colors, or you can put a bow there. It's all up to you, however you want to attach it. I will go ahead and attach mine. And like I said, you can do this 1 or twice, however many vines you want, or if you don't want any at all, that's fine. You could also make a leaf to put on it. I think that would be really cute. It's totally up to you. And then there you go. That's just with 1 vine. Like I said, you can do more than that, less than that, however you want to decorate it from here. If you do make some of these, I'd love to see them. I put my social media links in the description box below, so please tag me and let me see what you have made. And I'll see you next time. Bye!